Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here and welcome to a very special video today. Here we are back on the Phillip Stour Valley Railway network route for Train Simulator Classic. So this is a route that is being made in collaboration with us here at British Locomotive Studios. And Phillip has just released a brand new piece of rolling stock on an update for the route. I don't think this is public at the minute. I believe it's still a work in progress. But nevertheless, we're going to have a little first look of this and have a little look round it because this is just absolutely fantastic. So this is the Derby Lightweight DMU. For those of you who are thinking, oh, do you know what, that looks similar to something, you'll probably notice this from units such as Iris, which is basically the single car version of these units. And yeah, these were veterans. These were basically one of the common sources of motive power that used to operate along the Stour Valley Railway route back when it was in operation. And yeah, and already I can see, the difference in the model itself and the texturing is absolutely stunning. This is without a doubt already the best model that Phillip has made to date, the best rolling stock model. I'm loving the look of this texturing. He's really improved on that. And so let's have a look around the unit first. Let's have a look around the model. I mean, just look at this. So we've got obviously the unusual sticky outward lights that these Derby lightweights have, which yeah, it's just brilliant to see. It's at the moment there's only one livery that comes with it, and that is the sort of standard BR green with cat's whiskers. So just your bog standard green. But just to have this in game, and it's going to be freeware as well. It just looks beautiful. It's a really nice looking unit. The texturing has much improved from his previous models, such as the Railbus and Class 15. We can see we've even got some nice bogey detail there. Or we've got a bit of a disappearing object there underneath, but it's not nothing that can't be fixed. So this is unit number E79026, and yeah, we've got all of this underneath bit here as well with all the little bits of separate bits of detail. He has really gone to town with this unit. This you can tell he's put effort into this model, and yeah, it's just looking absolutely stunning. It's you just look at all this. You've got all of the gangway and that, and all the metal. I'm just thrilled to finally see this unit in game. It's a unit that I've wanted in Train Simulator for a long time, and we've finally got it. It's a very unusual looking DMU, and it just looks. I'm very happy with this. Yeah. So what's interesting here? So you can see here, look, we've even got sort of windows in the back here, which is very interesting. So this is kind of like where you would sit. You've got a little plastic chair there. So this is where the second cab would have been built for Iris, which is a single car version of it. And yeah, the little plastic chair is actually there in the real unit in the cab of it. But yeah, this is the guards compartment. So if we have a look in here, we've got a really nice looking interior. We've got all of sort of the standard moquette that you get within these units, very nicely represented. We've got the nice flooring as well. I believe this texturing was done in Substance Painter, although don't quote me on that. I believe Phillip started doing that. We've got a few little niggly bits, glitches here and there, but that's to be expected. This is still a work in progress model. It is not finished. And heading down to the cab here as well, this is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to go in the cab view. Another thing that he has done is he's done some scriptable features on this, so it's not just looking at it like this. He's actually scripted it. So what we'll do is we'll unpause the game and we'll go through some of the key commands that he sent me on Messenger. Okay, so actually, first of all, what I'll do is go into the cab quick, just in case it needs to go in the cab first, for it to register. So if we press Control 1, it hasn't seemed to do anything at the minute. How do I get rid of the Control Shift? How do I get rid of the tails? Actually, Control Shift does the tails. Control Shift Plus. Oh, there we go. It's removed the tails on that end. So Control Shift Plus turns on or off your tail lights. Well, Control Shift Plus turns them off. Control Shift Minus turns them on. That's quite cool. What else do we have? So with Control 1 does your left hand headlight. Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? Control 2 does your right hand one. I love this already. Control 3 does your top headlight. Excellent. And Control 4 does your middle headlight. I'm not going to have the top headlight on because I think that's a bit overkill. So we'll get rid of that and we'll remove it by pressing Control 3. I'm loving the station announcements in the background. Do we have to pick up passengers? We do. Okay, so we'll do that. Yeah, there's no specific departure time, so that's good. Destination blind, Control 5. Doesn't seem to do anything at the minute. Increment. Oh, I see. You can change the destinations with Control 5 and 6. Look at that. That's very, very cool. Yes, we are going to Colchester, so we'll leave that at that. Control 7, cab door left. Oh my god, how cool is that? What? That's such a brilliant idea. You can actually open and close the cab door from the outside. So if I do Control 8, it will open the other side. There we go, look at that. Control 9 does the guard's door. There it is, look at that. Oh my god, it opens up both of them. And you can see inside the guard's compartment. How cool is that? Okay, we'll shut that up. And Control 0 does the guard's door on that side. That is so cool. Okay, so we've had a look at all these features. So without further ado, I think we should get moving because we've got the signal. This is the cab, which yeah, looks pretty cool. Oh look, we've got a blind, a sun blind. That's cool. Look at that. The animation's a bit, you know, it could be slowed down to, you know, to actually do it properly. Do we have opening and closing windows? We don't. But if I press Control 7, does it open it? Oh, it doesn't open the door from the inside. Oh, that's a shame. That's something that perhaps he could look into adding, is the opening and closing doors from the inside of the cab. So it's, you know, so you've got that immersion as well. Okay, so I don't know how this drives, but I'm going to assume it's geared like all the rest of the units. I don't know what the sounds are like either, so it's going to be, this is all a complete first look. So we've got cab views, obviously either side. You've got the driver's side or second man side. If we press 5, we also have a passenger view. Can only turn 180 degrees though. It's a bit like the Dovetail Games Class 101 passenger view, and it's just either side. Still though, it's nice to have it. It looks decent. So we should sound the horn. Listen to that. Okay, so the horn is just the RSC Class 31 horn, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice to have a different horn. Maybe I can have a look into some DMU horn recordings that I might have, and maybe forward it to Phillip to maybe add one of those instead or something. But there's your reverser there, look, which is a very unusual looking thing. This is a really unusual cab, isn't it? Do we have instrument lights? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't seem to. We don't have a cab light either. Oh, hang on a minute. What's that say? Headlight bottom. Headlight right. I'll say so you can do the headlights in the cab as well. That's cool. Got your handbrake there. Okay, so we'll release the brake. Put ourselves into gear 1. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, gear 1. Off we go. Let's have a listen. Okay, so the lean out camera is in the cab view for some reason, so you can't actually lean out the window. That's a shame. Well, let's have a listen to the sounds as we leave Cambridge. So this is Cambridge Station, for those who don't know. This is what it used to look like. Pretty cool, hey? It's a lot more bigger than what it is now. But yeah, off we go. you know what? Them sounds are actually really good. Oh, we're going a bit too fast there. Oh my god, what is that crossover? Ooh, a bit steep around that crossover. The sounds are somewhat quiet from the inside. Do we have windscreen wipers? Oh, we do. Look at that. Look at that weird animation. Oh, that's trippy. Yeah, because it cleans both windows. It's weird. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Get muddled up with the gear. So it's shift E to gear up and then E to gear down. So it's sort of backwards compared to the bog standard units you get in game. I definitely think that the sounds in the cab could use with turning up. They're not loud enough. Doesn't feel like I'm in a unit. There needs to be some clatter sounds going on, you know, like do 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 do, you know, some proper in-cab sounds. So the next station is Shelford. Okay, yeah, so you can actually, I suppose if I stay in this view, I can actually hear the sounds. I think the windows could use like making a little bit more clear as well. They're quite tinted. There may be, you know, that they could be altered. But it is a lovely looking unit. He's done an absolutely superb job on this one. So for those of you who don't know, the Stour Valley Railway network route in its beta stage is now available on Philip Baker's personal website. I shall link it in the description of the video if you want to go and check out the beta. So the route itself is not finished. It's still very much work in progress. However, on each update it's getting more closer to being finished. And then once it gets to that stage of being pretty much close to being finished, it will also make its way over on the British Locomotive Studios website to download. So we will be hosting it on there as well, on the more sort of complete versions of the route, which is very exciting because, you know, to have this content and, you know, to be able to host it for Philip and help advertise it and even help with some of the research towards the route by going on railway walks to the certain areas. It's great. It's a great little project to get involved with. It was my local line. Obviously it's not anymore. It's closed down, closed in the 60s. And it's just great to see a faithful recreation being made for Train Simulator Classic, really. We're coming up to Shelford soon, that's why I started slowing down. Got a nice signal box asset there. Seem to be missing some crossing gates there though, that's interesting. As far as I know, I should have all the assets for the route. I wonder how much Shelford has changed now, because I know that when I played it last, Shelford was still very much default. It didn't really have any station building modelled or, you know, anything in particular. So let's see if that's changed on this version of the route. But it looks different, I think. Yep, this definitely looks different. I think Shelford has actually got a model done now. Look at that. We'll have a look round in a minute. So, 'cause it's something we haven't covered in a previous video. So here we are at Shelford. Let's have a little look round, shall we? So we've got this really nice station building modelled now. Which, yeah, that looks smart. I'm liking these sort of big concrete posts as well. Got the signals up there. Crossing, signal box. All the station names and the shelter. Oh, okay, that's weird. Let me just have a look at that again. Press, if I open doors with T, okay, so the door's open this side. Oh, I see what he's tried to do. He's tried to do opening and closing doors, like opening and closing door animations, but it hasn't quite worked out for him yet, by the looks of things, and there's a bit of a glitch. So I can see what he's doing here. So he's trying to make it so the doors open and close, like depending on when the passengers get in, a bit like what Armstrong Powerhouse did with the Class 205 thumper. Fair play. Okay, I can see his intentions here. That's going to be interesting when it's done. That's going to be very interesting when it's done. So I'm going to get a nice try and get a nice screenshot of it here at Shelford. Just looks really, really smart. Okay, so off we go then. Yeah, you know what? The sounds are not that bad. Could you do some different rail joint sounds? I'll try and see if I can record some rail joints when I'm next down at Swanage, because I'm a volunteer down at Swanage Railway. I'll see if I can try and get some coach sounds. Might be usable for some custom rail joint sounds instead of those horrible Kuju sounds. Okay, so we're at 25 miles per hour now. Some weird prolonging hissing sounds that I'm hearing on this. To be fair, Philip did say that the scripting on this is not 100% yet, because it is still work in progress. It does have a few niggly bits that need sorting out. Can we open and close the door? No, we can't open and close that. I wonder if we've got any cab lights. It would be interesting if it's had cab lights and instrument lights. Obviously, I can't see. I don't think it does. Actually, what's that? Destination light, interior light. Oh, it does. It has a cab light. Look at that. Very cool. So destination light, what does that do? Yeah, it makes it slightly clearer on there. What we got here? Desk light. Oh, we have a desk light, look at that. It works. That's good for nighttime running. You can't really see it now because obviously it's different now. Okay, we've got 50-mile-an-hour limit here, I've just realised. So we'll speed up slightly. Now, lower the throttle. Give ourselves another gear. And off we go. So our speed limit's 50. Oh, keep pressing the wrong button. Yeah, because the gear up is backwards on this compared to the standard units you get in Train Sim, so it's a bit strange. Yeah, definitely the in-cab sounds need to be louder. But the actual sounds themselves are actually really, really good, like the engine sounds. It would also be nice to have a two-tone horn on the spacebar and B key instead of just the one class 31 tone, you know. If anyone does have any horn recordings from the preserved Iris, this is the DMU Iris, if you can get some horns from that and you'd like to donate them or send them over, please do, and obviously we'll credit you, because it would have been good to get some recordings from that when it was at the Great Central, but I didn't really think about it at the time. Yeah, we're coming up to Pampersford in a minute. Doesn't drive too badly either, to be fair. Loving all the rattling sounds and stuff this thing makes. Funny enough, the last train on this line in 1967, I believe, was one of these Derby lightweight units. But it wasn't with BR Green cat's whiskers though, it was BR Green with half yellow warning panels. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually includes the half yellow panel version of the Derby lightweights in this. Interested to see what liveries he comes up with. I believe there's also a fictitious livery of a BR blue one that was made by Helgen for the model. Unless BR blue was a thing on these at one point. Yeah, just ignore the strange door animations on the back. There we go. Do we have a guard's buzzer? Isn't that usually on like N or C or something? No, we don't. It's usually on C, but we've got one there. Oh, but it doesn't make a sound yet. Okay, so we obviously don't have the buzzer sounds at the minute. That's fair enough. Keep pressing E. It's the opposite way around, it's Shift E on this. So the next station is Linton. So the requirements list for this route was quite big, especially at the beginning of the beta stage of the route. A lot of it's been condensed now, like it's been swapped out for other assets just to lower the amount of requirements needed for the route. Basically to open up to more players for the route really. We don't want to overdo it with the requirements because I think Philip can agree we actually do want people to play the route. So yeah, a lot of them have been substituted with other Dovetail Games assets. Another thing as well is it does have a lot of old UK train sim assets with this route, and luckily permission has been granted to package them in with the route. So the good thing about that is obviously you won't have to go around hunting for a load of UKTS stuff because it will all be packaged in for you. Just double checking the speed limits. But by all means, if you're interested in the route and you want to give it a try in its current beta stage, head over to Philip's website and download it. If you have any questions or queries, you can always message us in the Discord server or on Facebook, and we'll try and relay your messages over to Philip in a private message, and obviously then anything that he says about anything regarding your comment, I'll then relay it back to you. Although to be fair, if he does follow the BLS Facebook page, so if you do happen to comment on any of the posts on the BLS Facebook page regarding this route, he should be able to reply back to you. So it's always good to do that option as well. I also noticed that the scenery has developed over here as well. We've seen some cows back there in the field, which is a very nice touch. So we've got some animals and wildlife being, implemented in. This is Linton Station. This station is actually in our Rediscovering Lines Around Haverhill 2 video, which is a BLS vlog. And we actually walk along the section of track as it is today. It was as of 2023 when it was filmed, I believe. And we walked from Linton all the way through to Haverhill via Bartlow Station. And we saw the remains of Bartlow Junction signal box as well. It's very interesting. I recommend having a look at that vlog. I shall also link that in the description as well, just so you guys can take a look. Well, I'll link both vlogs in. There's two parts of it, so you get to see how the line looks or what's left of it today, which there isn't a lot left. Okay, that stop wasn't as good as the other ones. So let's have a little look around Linton Station, shall we? This is, I say the texturing, he's getting a lot better with his texturing now. The station buildings are certainly looking a lot more better, more photorealistic. I remember they used to look quite bright and overexposed originally, but now these are looking a lot better. Yeah, this is Linton Station, got the Linton signal box there, got the goods shed over there. It's just brilliant. It's great to see this era being modelled in Train Simulator as well, because it's one that's usually often overlooked. So it's great to see some of this this content being made. Okay, onwards to the next station. Bit of a gradient out of here, so I'll just get some beans. I've got to say I'm very, very impressed with this unit. Very, very happy with it. He's done an absolutely fantastic job on this. And I think as well, what I've loved about this project is seeing Philip's overall improvement when it comes to Train Simulator development. Like each time that he's released an update on this route or anything in general, he's got better and better with texturing, with modelling, and yeah, he's just really coming on well. And he's really starting to produce some impressive content for Train Simulator now. This Derby Lightweight, I can tell he's put a lot of work into this, and it's paid off. It is a very, very nice and a very nice looking model, to be fair. And it's going to be freeware. This is, fantastic for freeware. He's tried to source drawings as much as possible as well, so majority of the models are based off of official drawings, which is obviously the right way of making locos and units for Train Simulator, you have to really, you know, go off of drawings, because otherwise it's not going to be 100%. Okay, so we start slowing up now because we are sort of oh my god, there's a tree in the track. Ouch! Okay, that needs to be removed. It's a slight bug with the route. Hope Philip was watching this to be able to see it. That will need to be removed. It's just crashed into the windscreen. This is Bartlow, we're coming up to 15 limit, I need to slow down. I've noticed he's added an echo sound effect over the bridges. That's quite good, you know. That's interesting. He's trying to make that sort of the sound as you go over the bridges. That's decent. Whether it's necessarily the right way of doing it, I don't know, because obviously you get that sort of echo effect, especially when you do the horn and stuff. It will start to echo when you go over a bridge. I know that Steam Sound Supreme do a specific way of doing bridge sounds. They like add a certain audio file to the track, and it makes the actual bridge sounds. That's the kind of sound effects you want to be using, really. So a recommendation for that is to try and have a chat with Steam Sound Supreme, Phillip, to see if they know how to implement some of the bridge sounds, because they might know a thing or two about that. So here we are at Bartlow. This station nowadays is actually a private residence, so somebody actually owns Bartlow station now. But look, we can go inside here, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know how much is left of it. I know that this platform is still here in real life, but you can't get to it because of the fact that it's a private residence. I'm gonna hazard a guess that a majority of the station is still there, if not all of it. It's just you can't get to it, so. But yeah, it's a nice looking thing. We've got a bus outside there, you know. I believe we've covered Bartlow before. What's this sign over here? So this is, oh yeah, this is the Saffron Walden branch station. So that goes down to Saffron Walden and Audley End. So you can change your trains. You used to be able to change your trains here to head down to Audley End. So I don't know if we'll play through the entirety of the scenario today, because we have got a long journey ahead of us. Like, we've got 38 miles. I don't know, maybe we can. Maybe I'll be generous. Seem to be on a gradient here and it's not picking up speed, so maybe we could downstep the gear to make us go faster. There we are, that's made a difference. Yeah, she's struggling to pick up speed along this section. It's a bit of a grade. So we're coming up to the Free Arch Bridge now. This is actually filled in real life now. I have visited the site. So realistically, that bridge is actually all still there in its entirety, but a majority of it is underground because you can literally see the top of it. But obviously the whole area has been filled in. So you'll probably find that if you dug hard enough, you could probably dig it all out. Crazy to think of. It seems to be miraculously slowing down, so it's slightly worrying. This thing really is struggling up the hill. But yeah, so this cutting that we're going through now is filled in real life. You can actually, yeah, walk above it. I'm flying down now. I've noticed we've got these big patches of grass here. I don't know whether that's... Is it VP grass? If it's Vulcan Productions grass, one thing I will recommend is don't have it in massive clusters because it will affect the FPS. I'm hoping that it's not large clusters of VP grass. It seems to run okay. We seem to be getting quite a nice steady FPS, but what I will recommend for the distant grass in the fields is to use the Dovetail Games grass from like the Great Eastern Mainline grass, or just some of the default Dovetail Games grass assets, because it is actually recommended by VP themselves not to use their grass in massive large clusters. Use it by line side in the smaller portions, but in the means of giant clusters it's not a good idea, because it will cock the frame rates up. But to be fair, it's not running too badly. I think I'm getting a steady 60 FPS with this throughout majority of the route, which is good. So the next station is Haverhill, which is my local, or what was my local station back in the 1960s, when I wasn't even alive. My name was, though. We're currently going through the flood park, or what is the flood park today. I believe this is Withersfield Road Bridge. Come up to the distance signal here. I wonder if he's put the foot crossing in now. That I noticed on my and the extra bridge beside it. There was a crossing back there, but I noticed it on one of my walks. There's a crossing there. Well, maybe he's still yet to do it. Some houses over there, Lineside Hut. Yeah, you can see he's starting to develop the town of Haverhill a little bit more. This is the first bridge. Now, fun fact, Haverhill footbridge actually had a canopy on one occasion, but it got removed later on. I'll tell you what, this looks right at home at Haverhill here. Change for the Stour Valley line. You've probably seen this all before, but I can't get enough of looking around it because, you know, it's just surreal to see this in Train Simulator. Haverhill North, 3D lettering. Yeah, these houses look a lot better now. They look like the ones in real life. That church there should be St Mary's. It wouldn't have this big spike like that. That would be the old independent church, which is a bit further over here somewhere. That's St Mary's, so that would just be your standard sort of castle top style church. The old independent would be over here somewhere, but he hasn't placed it down. But yeah, that's one thing I will say. But yeah, this is the station forecourt slash the coal yard, which I believe from this view here was exactly where we got some footage donated to us from one of the guys. I can't remember his name now, but he donated it to us for the Haverhill vlog. You'll see it in the video. But yeah. Oh, it just looks great there. But there we are. Right. One thing I have noticed is that the people on the platform look a little bit too modern for the time period set. So might be wise sort of changing these out for the Bath Templecombe 1950s invisible platforms, or just platforms for the people models, just to keep them in period. Right. Ooh. Yeah, just the Bath Templecombe route is the Somerset and Dorset route, for those who don't know. The next station is Sturma. Where's the speed limit out here? No, we are going... Okay, we're going to 50. It's Haverhill Junction signal box. To be fair, I wouldn't mind volunteering to do some work on this route, to be fair, and maybe doing a bit of work on the actual Haverhill town scenery area. Because I've actually got pictures and stuff in my book of Haverhill town, how it looked back in these days that the route is modelled. So I'll be able to put the shops in the correct places and make them look how they should and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind doing that, that would be pretty cool. So we shouldn't be too far from Sturma. It's not that far out of Haverhill, so we're just gonna come off the power now. Another tree in the line. Yes, there's definitely some trees that need to be moved and taken off in places. This is that bridge in real life that now has scaffolding underneath it. This is over to the golf course. This next bridge we're coming up to should be a girder bridge, which passes over a river. I think I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it. There it is. And here we are arriving in Sturma Station. It really is amazing what he's done, going off of the references that he has. Bear in mind he's been looking at old photographs and old map diagrams of the surrounding area and any found footage as much as possible. I mean, the footage is very, very limited. It's very difficult to model this period because you've got very limited references. So I do give him massive credit for doing it. So here we are at Sturma Station. This is going to be featured in, it's featured in our Rediscovering Lines Around Haverhill 1, and it's going to be featured in Rediscovering Lines Around Haverhill 3, which is our latest vlog that we have just released on the BLS YouTube channel. So I will link all three of them in the description for you guys to have a look at and enjoy. We've got this like floaty stuff over here, but I'm sure something like that can be fixed. It's just obviously where the forecourt asset is stretched out over here. There is like this picket fence over here in real life, but he'll see that on the Haverhill Railway's free vlog. Obviously, by the time it's recorded, the Rediscovering Lines Around Haverhill 3 wasn't actually released, so yeah, that's literally coming out this evening. But yeah, this it's lovely. The signs over here. So this is interesting. Okay, so we've got obviously brick wall here at Sturma Station. This here is actually railing fence in real life, which we'll actually discover on Haverhill Rediscovering Lines of Haverhill 3. So it is railing fences instead of the actual brick on there. So the next station is Stoke, so we'll head off to Stoke. Try and do a window hang view. Would be quite cool if you could actually do like a guard's view like this, hanging out the window. That would be a cool view. I like the grunt, the rev. You know, the rev's really nice sound. Yeah, the windows in the cab really do need altering. They're very, as I say, very dark. They're very tinted. I think they need to be, you know, made a bit brighter so we can actually see out the windows a bit better. Because you can see the difference when I was in that, you know, leaning out the window there, to opposed to what we see within the cab. So this is Wixco actually, or Wixo, to the right hand side where we actually walked to in our rediscovering lines around Haverhill 3. So it's interesting to see it in the sim now, because bear in mind we walked along this area. And we got up to this bridge here. Now this bridge here that we've just gone over now, it's not actually a girder, it's actually a brick bridge, a brick arched bridge. And I believe this one is as well. So actually back there was the lodge bridge and that one was the brick arch bridge that we stopped at. Well, it actually just occurred to me, we're not an awful long way away from Stoke. From where we stopped at, to be fair. We kept on going for another, I don't know, hour and a half. We might have actually got there. So once again, Stoke by Clare is still around today. It's a private residence. So is Sturmer Station back there as well. Actually, that's a private residence now as well, and it's actually for sale. That would be great to, you know, to buy that and build like a miniature railway or something in the grounds. But yeah, a lot of these old stations, well, a fair few of them are now private residents. Although some of them were unfortunate to get demolished, you know, like Haverhill, for example, which is now a Tesco superstore. And then you've got Cavendish as well, which I don't believe exists anymore. This is Stoke by Clare, or just named Stoke in this case, but there is actually two places in the UK called Stoke, but this is Stoke by Clare, not the other Stoke. So yeah, even though, you know, the station was called Stoke, likely confused a lot of passengers back in the day, but yeah, there we are. One thing I've noticed though that he has done now is he's actually replaced the traffic with 1950s, 1960s period cars, and that is good. We just need the people done now because, you know, they look a bit modern for the time period. At least on some of the stations they do. Right, so let's get moving again. So we should depart Stoke, and our next station is Clare. Clare Station is still there today. It's a cafe now, I believe, and the goods shed is still there as well. It's like a little mini museum in within Clare Country Park. So we've got like the amps down here and meet up. So this is sort of lets you know when to change up. So it's saying change up now. It's quite a neat little thing. Our desk light on, see. There you are, let's put a light on that now. It's made it brighter. Can't switch it off now though because there's too much cab sway. Oh! It's realistic though, this does actually happen. Oh, I'll turn it off when I get to the next station. There we are. Turned it off. Coming out to Whistleboard in a minute. He says. There it is. Will be interesting to find out what's between Clare and Stoke by Clare, to be fair, on that track bed. There's so many different areas to explore though around, you know, around this line. I don't think we'll be able to cover all of it, mainly due to the fact that neither me or Jordan can actually drive, so we can't actually drive to any of these locations. So we have to be relying on like walking or public transport, which around these areas there's not a great deal of public transport. Quite like the addition of the... Yeah, that's nice. The overbridge with the river. Clare Castle still isn't on the hill yet. He hasn't modelled that yet. But okay, so this is Clare Station, now the site of Clare Country Park today. Yep, looks pretty spot on to what it is in real life. That's a weird siding. But yeah, so on this hill up here, this mound, there is a castle, or should be. Obviously, it hasn't been modelled in this version of the route, but I'm sure it will be eventually. This is a good shed that remains here still today, and it is now a little mini museum. It has like a wagon in there as well, and this crane is here as well that you can get on. And a piece of track just set outside here of the shed. Although I'm not sure that there was ever a point actually inside the goods shed like this. I'm not sure if that was a thing. But yeah, there it is. Well, that looks quite nice in that lighting. Getting loads of photos of this thing. Good. We like it. Next station is Cavendish. So yes, this is just a basic scenario with the route at the moment. It's got no AI traffic or anything in particular there. I'd imagine it probably will do eventually, be further developed, but it's just basically just to just have a nice little sort of pleasant drive on this new piece of rolling stock. Oh, bless me. Have a little look outside, shall we? It's interesting to see the route in sort of the winter textures. Well, sort of winter with obviously with all the leaves off. This is slightly different to your bog standard summer that I'm usually used to driving the route on. To be honest, the route is probably shown off a little bit better in previous versions, well, previous videos I've done on the route. You can see more detail with the, obviously when the summer assets are out. But it doesn't look too bad in the winter, it's quite good. Still plenty of detail, plenty of scenery to see. We should be approaching Cavendish very, very soon. Yeah, this is the station I was on about earlier. That is no longer there. The Cavendish station is pretty much gone now, unfortunately. It's one of those things. Bit of a glitchy point there, I must admit. Let's have a look at that in a bit. I think the house on the left-hand side we're just passing now is still there, but the actual station itself is gone. I could be wrong though. That's interesting. You've got the sound of the brake from the outside. It sounds a lot better than it does when you're in the cab. Okay, that's different. But yeah, Cavendish Station. Yeah, it's this house here. This is still here. I know this is still here. I think a piece of the platform is still there, though. I'm pretty certain. But the actual station building and everything's gone. Got this nice crossing here. Floaty bridge. Yeah, you can see there's still lots of scenery still to be done in areas that just, you know, need finishing. But this is what it's all about, you know. It is a beta. It's still a work in progress. There's still a lot to do on it. It's a ever-growing project. It's like a model railway, I suppose you could say, and you know, it's you know, that looks absolutely stunning. It's, you know, it's just one of those things where nothing's really ever finished. But you've got to get to that point of stopping eventually. Yeah. Also, I kept it in gear 4. I just realised. Whoops. Operational error there. I didn't mean to do that. I need to stop pressing E. It's Shift E to go up gear on this. It's backwards. It's reversed. So if you have any questions or queries about the route in general, or the rolling stock that's coming with the route, please let us know in the comments of the video. We'll be really interested to know your thoughts and opinions on it. Obviously, anything that you may have question-wise, I will forward it on to the lead developer of the route. So the next station is Glemsford, which is not too far away. I believe this is the one I had issues with during sort of the first beta release of the route. I believe it's sorted now, but a lot of the time the game would dump around this area, and we found out that it was due to tile corruption, and it had to be sorted out. Some sort of asset within that tile causing the game to crash. So you'll notice as I... oh Christ, that was accidental. You'll notice as I coast into the stations, I don't put ourselves into neutral gear. You always coast in gear 4. Here we go. Here we are at Glemsford. Yeah, the Glemsford was a station that I did have issues with before. But yeah, now it's obviously fixed and we don't get any dumps anymore. But yeah, This is a really interesting station because it's just literally a building with a canopy just in front of it. It's not really attached to the building. That's one of the unique features of Glemsford Station. It was an unusual one in that regard. Oh, we've got a lamp sort of poking through the roof there, which is interesting. Whether it's supposed to do that or not. And I've also got this building here. That looks nice, sweeping around that curve. Ooh. And I believe the next station is Long Melford, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double check that though. Yep, it is Long Melford. Get plenty of mileage on this. So we're actually also going via Chapel and Wakes Colne as well, which is the site of the East Anglian Railway Museum as of today. Some interesting flashy shaders going on there on the wheels. It's a really nice unit. Loving the sounds. This is definitely something I would use regularly on this route. It's definitely getting to that point now where I think we can look at potential release on British Locomotive Studios. It's certainly getting to that point now with in the route's progress where it is releasable as an actual release. I'll have a chat with Phillip about that at some point to see what he thinks, but I think we're getting there, definitely. Then you guys can get an official release version of the route. With a manual and stuff made. I'm going to make these a manual which will tell you all the information about the locos and stock that you get with it, and all the key commands and all of that jazz, requirements, etc. That's another job of mine that I have with this project, making the route manuals, writing all the details in. And here we are at Long Melford, which I believe is where Philip actually grew up when he was younger, or sort of around this sort of area. And yeah, it's done lovely. It's just brilliant. It really is really nicely done. I like this underbridge here, where you go underneath and out. You've got this like big old building. I can't remember what it is now, but it's quite an important building around Long Melford, or was an important building. I don't know if it's still there today. They are. It sort of looks like it's almost got an interior on there. Look, it's got like, you can see through to the, yeah. So we can get some really nice angles on this. Right. Go to our next station, which is Sudbury. Blimey, we've done the entire Cambridge to Sudbury run within this video. That's new. That's different. I don't think I've really gone this far within a YouTube video before. Like, not gone, you know, to this sort of length within a video. So you guys are lucky. I'm treating you with this. Oh my god, that is a really... It said 50-mile-an-hour limit out of there, and then it went to 15. Now it's 50 again. Okay, that was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? Usually a bit of the line that I really like. This is where the scenery is really done very well. Like, a lot of it's been developed around here. We'll have a look inside the passenger view. I'm loving the jolting and moving around, you know, sort of the rocking, and you know, it gives you that sense of realism. Because these old branch lines, you know, they used to rock around inside these old units, you know. The track was quite uneven in places, you know. It's nice to see the cab sway. We're coming up to 30 limits, so I shall shut the throttle and coast towards that 30. The amount of work they've put into this is really, really incredible. Like, it's just... Fantastic route. Nice looking rolling stock coming in as well, and it's gradually improving. I know that he's thinking of going back to revisit the Class 15, because we was actually going to release a separate Class 15 add-on pack for BLS, but unfortunately it had a lot of problems within testing. Like the testers had a lot of issues with missing textures and things like that, due to the fact that the textures were linked to the Railbus that's coming with the route. So there was quite a lot of issues there, and there was just genuinely quite a lot of bugs, and that's why we couldn't release the Class 15 at the time we wanted to release it. But it's going to be looked at again apparently, and with what he's done with this Derby Lightweight, I'd love to see some of these textures and features moved and carried over to the Railbus and the Class 15 as well. Because this is a major improvement to both that Railbus and the Class 15. This unit is undoubtedly the best model and piece of rolling stock that he's made so far. I mean, the modelling on the Railbus and the Class 15 is very, very good and pretty much spot on, but it's the texturing and just other bits and pieces that let them down to oppose to this. I was very impressed with the Class 15. It's a very, very nice thing, but I think this is just raised that bar slightly a little bit more. So I think that some of this texturing and the features on this need to sort of carry over to them other two models. And here we are at Sudbury. Probably should have slowed down a little bit earlier. Just ignore the animations on the doors. But yeah, that's the iconic footbridge at Sudbury. So Sudbury Station is still there in real life, well, ish. There is a mainline station, just a platform, literally just a single platform with a track coming out. I believe it's part of this cattle dog. It might even have been this. This is not the platform that remains today. And yeah, the rest of it's just been completely removed and demolished. And yeah, so the station is really a shadow of its former self. It's not like it was. So this section of line that we're going to be travelling down now from Sudbury down to Marks Tay is actually still there today, just obviously not in this format. We're 20 mile an hour out of here. I'm interested to see Colchester actually, because I remember in the previous versions of the route that I've seen, the Marks Tay to Colchester section wasn't complete and it still had the Great Eastern Main Line assets still there. So this route actually does use the Dovetail Games Great Eastern Main Line route as a template, and yeah, so a lot of it was still modern era track along sort of the Marks Tater Colchester section. So we'll see what's changed and if there's been any alterations there. Oh yeah, we're at the 50 mark now, so we can get moving a little bit now. Yes, the next station is Bures. I've got 3 miles, well 4 miles until Bures. We've got quite a distance from Sudbury to Bures. Brief look around. Once again, this fantastic unit. So the rear car is E79252, and the leading car is E79026. So I do think that the unit could benefit with some different rail joint sounds, so we could try and obtain some. It's not terrible, but they are very outdated. You know, they are Kuju, and people do not like the Kuju clatter. So yeah, some nice new rail joints for the unit would be advised. But I think we can all agree, especially the DMU veg who might be watching this video right now, that this unit is very, very nice. It's been done well, and it's great to finally have a Derby lightweight diesel multiple unit within Train Simulator. It's something we've never had before. It's a unique piece of rolling stock, and I think, you know, rolling stock around this era has been very overlooked within Train Simulator, and to see it, you know, being implemented into the game, it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm over the moon, and I just think that it's just brilliant. We need to see more of this content within Train Simulator. It's, you know, it's very interesting. You know, it gives you a sense of history. You know, history is it's a very wonderful thing, I think, you know, and to have more historical roots within Train Simulator Classic, it just, you know, it's nice. It's bringing back something that was once here but is no longer here. You know, it's resurrecting something that is long gone, and I think that's just fantastic. A lot of people these days do modern era routes. You know, they just build what they can see today, you know, with the mainline network and stuff, to be honest, that just gets boring after a while. You know, we've got too many routes like that. We need to see more of this, more diesel and steam era routes, and more focus on the diesel era in general. Okay, so we're on the approach to Burs now. Bures, sorry, not Burs. Burs is in Lancashire. Yeah, so Bures is an interesting platform because it is literally just a single track platform. Or, well, it is now today. In this it isn't. In this it will be double track platform because, you know, it's based at a different era. Actually, no. It is still a single track platform, even back here. Sorry, ignore me. But yeah, so it's unique in the sense that it is just a single platform, and it's a bit like what Stoke by Clare is. It seems to make that noise when you get into the 90 mark. Another thing that's interesting about Bures is the platform. It's on stilts rather than your bog standard brick platform. I like that, handstand. Bures. I've actually got some old reskins of posters like this, actually. I'll have a look to see if I still got them, because I was doing a little route project of my own regarding a preserved version of this. So I should see if I still got those. They were done by Snud. Alright, so leaving Bures, we'll head down to Chapel and Wakes Colne, which I believe is the next station. It is indeed. The site of what is today the East Anglian Railway Museum. And before anyone asks, no, we are not doing the preserved version of the East Anglian Railway Museum, because I know that would be one of the questions that are asked. To be fair, it would be quite nice. I will give you credit for anyone interested in that. It would be quite nice to have a modern day version of the Sudbury to Marks Tay branch line, like Network Rail branch line with the, with the flirts and what runs on it today, and the Railway Museum as like an extra piece. It would be an interesting little route project. Maybe. I mean, you got the basis with this, maybe, but we'll see. I believe somebody else was working on something like that anyway, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Oh, we've got quite a gradient here as well. You'll notice that all these crossings as well are all custom made crossings, very nicely done, as is all the signals. So yeah, so the Derby Lightweight DMU is not currently publicly available. This is an exclusive first look of something that is not yet available for the public. When this unit will be available, I do not know. Whether it's going to come with another beta release on Phillip's website or whether it will come with a official release version on the BLS website. Again, I don't know. But we'll see. And we'll keep you posted and updated on that in the future. When it does become available, I shall post a link on the Facebook page to the unit and the route. But in the meantime, if you guys want to try out the route in its current state, so the recent beta release, which was I believe the one before this, you can go and check it out. I'll link that in the description. This one that I'm showing is currently an upcoming beta release, or an upcoming release, as it were, of the route. I mean, this route has had so many different beta releases now. It's quite ridiculous. I can't keep track, but yeah, it will be in some form of release in hopefully the not too far distant future. So we'll soon be coming up to Chapel and Wakes Colne station. There will be a junction we'll come up to soon as well, where it's basically the spur for the Colne Valley section of the line, which we haven't gone down because this is the Stour Valley section we've driven down. So there is also another section of this route that you can drive down, which is the Colne Valley Railway section, which is also modelled within this route. But it's an entire network, really. You've got both the Stour Valley and Colne Valley Railways modelled, which is just absolutely fantastic as well. So you've got plenty of different routes down, to take, plenty of mileage, and above all, plenty of scenario potential. This is going to be one of those routes that you can definitely have a lot of scenario potential for. So here we are arriving into Chapel. You can see on the left hand side is Chapel Goods Shed, which is the site for the East Anglia Railway Museum. We'll have a brief look round in a bit. When we stop here, I need to stop doing that. Keep going too hard on the brake. I feel like I'm getting worse and worse at driving this unit rather than better. Okay, so here we are at Chapel and Wakes Colne. Let's have a look round. So yeah, so Chapel and Wakes Colne, the signs, we've got all the signs. We've got the signal box over there, which is still there today. This is the site of the East Anglia Railway Museum. As you can see, it's very, very different to what it is today. Obviously, you've got more additional tracks and things like that today. But yeah, that is the site of what is the East Anglia Railway Museum today. The goods shed does look really smart, actually. It's modelled very, very nicely. And we've got the Platform 2 shelter. I believe this footbridge is covered in real life. It shouldn't be open, so it's like a covered footbridge, a bit like what Sudbury's one have. Or, actually no, now I think about it, Sudbury's footbridge is actually on the Chapel and Waits Colne station today. The original Chapel and Waits Colne footbridge has been demolished, so that makes sense. That's why it has the covered footbridge on the station today. I remember that now. It's a fact that I remember. Yeah. So you got this iconic building. It's different. Oh, it's got a shader issue there. That's a slight problem. That wasn't on there before, so that's a recent thing, a recent bug. Might need to be fixed. But yeah, this is obviously, the Chapel station. Really cool looking station. Yeah, it's Chapel and Waits Colne, the junction for the Colne Valley line. There we go. So that is Chapel. Right, so without further ado, let's get further down the line to Marks Tay. Oh, so we've nearly reached the end of our journey today. And I hope you guys have been enjoying what you've been seeing. So the track, you've probably noticed by now, is the Armstrong Powerhouse Wherry Lines track, which to be fair is a good track to use. It has obviously the jointed rail, it's got the detail, and yeah, it's decent. It suits the route nicely. And it makes a change from using sort of, what is now the common Vulcan Productions track pack. Everyone uses that now for routes, so it's nice to have a change. We've also got the new TS rolling stock track, which has recently been released as well. But the trouble with that is, because it's payware, you'll find that a lot of route builders won't use it because of the fact that you'll be asking for people to buy a track pack, and there'll probably be quite a lot of train sim community members out there who think, oh well, I'm not paying money for track. I can just use any other track. That's one of the only risky things about releasing a track pack that is payware. That's one thing I will say. So yes, we just passed over Chapel Viaduct, which is a very, very nice structure. It's still there today. And trains still pass over it. It used to be 153s and 156s and stuff like that, but obviously they've now been withdrawn and taken out of the out of service along this branch. So now we've got the class 755s, I believe 755s. Yeah, Flirts or Stadlers, as others are known them by. So not too far off Marks Tay now. So we'll be coming into Markstay platform 3, where we will then depart down to Colchester, which is the last port of call for this journey today. So I've literally given you an entire tour of the route, pretty much. Well, the Stour Valley section of the route. The complete section. Obviously, scenery-wise would look better in the summer, but obviously this is the scenario that was supplied for the Derby Lightweight unit, which is obviously the main focal point for this video today. But obviously the bonus is just me doing the entirety of the scenario, which I was not expecting to do. But do you know what? I thought, stuff it. We'll do the whole thing. It's something different, and you guys get to see the entirety of the Stour Valley route to what it is in its current format. So yes, I'm really intrigued to see what's changed here. We've got a bit of check rail there, that's pretty cool. Because obviously originally this was just the Great Eastern Main Line Dovetail Games scenery and route. And so we'll see what's different. Although, looking like it doesn't look like there's much difference. I can still see some overhead catenary. But we do have the signals though, so that's something new. Let's have a look. However, I have noticed some change in the buildings and structures here. So we've got the AP stations, we just ignore that. But if we come over to here, we actually have the original Markstay station building here. This is new. I haven't seen this before. It's great to see that this has been placed in there. Very cool. Yeah, it's got overhead catenary. I don't know whether they had this at the period that this is modelled. I mean, maybe they were just placing it or putting it in at the time. Obviously, Philip will know more about that, so if you can let us know in the comments. Is this overhead catenary going to be removed, or is it actually meant to be there? That's what I want to know. So yeah, let us know. So anyhow, we now can go to Colchester, where we'll end our journey. And yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed this trip today, and I hope you guys have as well. So we've got the signal. There's a 20-mile-an-hour limit out of here. I think I'm also seeing a change in track as well. Yeah, we're coming onto the Armstrong Powerhouse standard concrete track as well. So I have a feeling that this section still hasn't really been touched. Or if it has, only little bits of it. I'm getting a very nice smooth FPS along here, I must admit. Yeah, we've got 100 miles an hour. We're never going to do that in this. We've got an old signal box coming up here though, so that'll be interesting to have a look at as we go past it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it's modelled Markstay Yard signal box, that's cool, it's all there. I'll tell you what, it does look weird seeing this old Derby lightweight unit going underneath overhead catenary. It looks very, very bizarre. Because it's such an old unit. So yes, we've got 4 miles of this. Because we've got some semaphores though, he's put some semaphores in. So we started to replace the colour lights. Oh god, this feels really weird. Got semaphores. Yeah, did it have overhead catenary at this point in time? And did it actually look weird like this? I don't know. It's a very interesting one. I'm really surprised he hasn't removed this overhead catenary yet. So maybe it's because it's actually meant to be there. Or it's just purely down to the fact that this section hasn't been finished yet. We'll see as we carry on down towards Colchester. Oh god, we've got AWS ramps now. Yeah, no, this section hasn't been finished. You can tell it's got an LED light there. So we've got colour lights now. Yeah, so I don't think these overheads are actually meant to be here. This is now the Dovetail Games Great Eastern Main Line. We've now rejoined it. So it's going to be a bit odd for the last leg of the route. You're also going to keep getting that going. Yes, this is happening. The mainline certified a Derby lightweight unit. Yep, it's legitimate. We've reached 60. I don't know what the max speed for these things were. So if anyone knows in the comments, let me know what the max speed for a Derby lightweight is. Has it written anywhere in the cab? No. But obviously just looking around his cab, it just shows it's really, really nicely done. Dealing. Oh, got a modern era cross in there. I'm going to have to start slowing down in a bit because we're coming up to 60. Yeah, we're also on welded rail now as well. That's a warning horn, that is. So I'm going to hazard a guess this is a section of line that he is still yet to do some work on. Double yellow. We've got a single yellow coming up. Yeah, it's because we're arriving in the station. We'll try and get all the way up to the buffers. This is Colchester, where this train terminates. Please take all of your belongings with you. shite. Oh, that didn't sound too good, did it? Hey, at least we're in. I misjudged that slightly. But there we have it, guys. We're at Colchester with the Phillip Baker's Derby Lightweight DMU for Train Simulator Classic on the Stour Valley Railway network route. I very much enjoyed this. I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. It's not finished yet. There is still some niggly bits that need sorting out, and Phillip has made me aware that some of the scripting is not quite right yet, and there's a few little bits and pieces that need finishing on it. But nevertheless, we finally have a Derby lightweight diesel multiple unit within Train Simulator Classic, and it's been done well. So absolutely fantastic job, Phillip. Really enjoyed running that. It's got some good sounds going on. Could use a better horn, and it is obviously, you know, you've heard all my thoughts and opinions on it. Different clatter sounds and all that kind of stuff. But the model is really nice. The texturing is very good as well. You've really improved on your texturing skills, and yeah, it's just brilliant. I've really enjoyed it, and thank you ever so much for bringing us this model for Train Simulator, and thank you as well for allowing me to showcase it as well, and show it off before it gets publicly released. And for those of you who have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video and have enjoyed the look of this new Derby Lightweight unit. Let us know in the comments what you think to it and the whole route in general. We really do appreciate the feedback, and yeah, any questions you may have of the route, let us know. So this has been Samuel Beeman of BLS on the Stour Valley Railway network route with the Derby Lightweight unit, and I'll see you again in another video. Goodbye for now.